Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. You're watching 100% NUFC. So this is the match preview for my club, Newcastle United. We are travelling away to Goodison Park to take on Everton in the Premier League. It's a 7:30 kickoff. Just before I jump into the video, if you do go to enjoy the video at any point or the content that you see on this channel, please don't forget to go along and subscribe. I'm only 9 subscribers away now from 2,500. If I can hit that, I would really appreciate it. It really would mean the world to us, and it's free. And also hit the notification bell so when a video does release from yourself, you'll never miss one. And please, can you go along and hit that thumbs up as well? Can we try and hit 25 likes or more? That would be really good. And also put your comments in down below of your start 11 for the game if you're a Newcastle or an Everton fan. And also let me know your score prediction. Put them down below in the comments. Let's jump right into it. So we're going into this game against Everton on real confidence. You know, we came off the back of a 1-0 win at home to Chelsea on Saturday, and how we did it in great circumstances in the last 30 seconds of the match. Who would have thought that we would have nicked the game with 30 seconds to go, given that throughout the whole game we dominated in terms of defending, but on the attacking front we didn't do a great deal. Steve Bruce even mentioned that in his post-match press conference, that it's all good defending, but we really did cause our own problems in terms of not really working the ball well enough in terms of getting forward. But when it came to the defensive work, which is what we're built on, we were defending ever so well, keeping Chelsea out. And Chelsea, yes, they did have chances of their own where they should really have put the ball in the back of the net. But because we've got a solid team that work hard and work hard for each other, we've managed to not only come away with a point, but all 3 points. And that's what you've got to do. You know, in the Premier League, there's no easy game, and Everton are no different on Tuesday night. You know, it's going to be a tough game, and sometimes even if you're not playing so well, like in parts against Chelsea, you've got to find a way to win. You've got to grind out results, and you never know, if you stick in there at 0-0, there's always going to be a chance. And the same could possibly happen, you know, at Goodison Park tomorrow or today, whenever you're watching, if it's match day. And it's going to be an interesting one, you know, as we go into it, because against Everton at Goodison Park, we haven't got the best record. Unfortunately, I can't really bring up any stats because I couldn't quite find anything to do with Newcastle and Everton's head-to-head. But what I can say is, last season at Goodison Park, we drew 1-1. We should probably have come away with all 3 points. We did take the lead with Solomon Rondon, but Everton did get their equaliser, and we did have chances towards the end, but come away with a point which would have been solid. You know, last season, trying to get away from that relegation zone, but looking at the bigger picture, we probably should have won it. But this season, we've also played Everton. It was around about the 28th of December. We lost by 2-1. Everton scored 2 goals with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and on that day, I don't think we were brilliant. I don't think we really got started in the game. We didn't match Everton's pace, and we didn't put enough tackles in. And it was just a case of a lack of communication, you know, for Everton's goals, and simple man marking. And we must do better at Goodison Park. You know, we need to try and get revenge, and we need to try and put right what happened on the 28th of December. And it's silly points to drop, really, at home against an Everton side who, before Carlo Ancelotti, you know, weren't doing that great. So we really do have to try and get something from Goodison Park on Tuesday. But the lads will also be mentally boosted after, you know, getting those 3 points against Chelsea, which was so unexpected. That against Everton, if we play with the same confidence, if we play like that, we've got every chance of getting something from Everton. I'm not saying we're going to win the game, but there's a real chance that if you just stick in there and give it your all, there's always that one opportunity. And yes, we're not the side in terms of, you know, creating a lot of opportunities. So if there's any Everton fans watching, we're technically built from the back. We like to play from the back, and that's what we're built with pride on. You know, building from the back and getting forward if and when we can. So I'd like to think if we do score goals, we don't get many opportunities, but we're more clinical, if you get what I mean. So when we get the big opportunities, we'll take them. But then against the so-called smaller clubs, or clubs that are in and around the relegation zone, we do tend to have a lot of chances, but we're very wasteful. So if there's any Everton fans watching this, you do have a chance against us on Tuesday. So my start 11 for the game on Tuesday will be this. Steve Bruce tends to play with a 5-3-2 formation. 5 at the back, we'll play the wing-back system. 3 in midfield, sort of 1 pushed up, and then a striker on its own. So in goal, I'm going to go with Martin Dubravka. He played an absolute blinder against Chelsea on the weekend. He's a safe pair of hands, and he'll keep you in the match when he's called upon. Now, the three at the back. First of all, I'm going to start off with Kieran Clark, my man of the match against Chelsea. He done absolutely everything that's expected of him. As a centre-back, he can clear the ball, he can put his body on the line, and he can talk as well, which is what you expect from a centre-back. In the centre of the defence, I'm going to go with Captain Jamal Lascelles again, who had another fantastic match against Chelsea. He actually played the full 90 minutes after only featuring for an hour against Rochdale in the FA Cup. Again, he's a captain, he's a leader. He could talk to the defence, he could talk to the all-round team. And he does like to get forward as well from set pieces. So when corners do come in or free kicks, he does like to make himself present, and he's an absolute brick wall. And next to him, I'm going to go with Florian Lejeune, who I thought had a better performance against Chelsea on the weekend, and someone who you just got to slot straight in, a no-nonsense centre-back, someone who can defend, put his body on the line, great from set pieces when corners come in, and again, someone who's grown into the Premier League, and he's proven that his match fitness is definitely getting up there now, compared to when he did come back into the side, it wasn't all there. Now, in the centre of midfield, I'm going to start off with Sean Longstaff. I think he played reasonably well against Chelsea. He did make a couple of mistakes, which he did get away with, but he's starting to show glimpses that he is trying to get back to the Sean Longstaff, which we're seeing under Rafa Benitez when he got his starts. But he's someone, who's very positive. He likes to put tackles in. He can get up and down the pitch. He can do his defensive duties if he has to. And he's someone who you can rely on, who's not shy of having to go if he's given an opportunity outside the box or inside the box. Now, in the middle of that midfield, I'm going to go with Isaac Hayden, the goal scorer against Chelsea. Someone, for me, who's not really known for scoring goals, but he has said this week that he does want to improve his game in terms of scoring goals. And hey, you never know, that's the first of many. As we all know, he can be very good, from set pieces. But Hayden's known for protecting the back three. He's known for playing tidy balls to, say, John Joe Shelby, Matt Ritchie, Alan St. Maximin. He's not really known for getting forward. He just likes to do his defensive duty. He's quite a tidy all-round player. So that's what we need. We need someone who's going to protect the back three and not allow Everton to overrun in that midfield, which has happened on numerous of occasions when he hasn't played. And then next to him, I'm going to go with John Joe Shelby, someone who you can rely on. He can play the Hollywood balls left and right. He can, get up and down the pitch. He can defend, but also he's not scared, of having to go. He can have long range effort. He's great from set pieces, and he's someone who we're probably going to rely on to try and, get St. Maximin and Matt Ritchie more up the pitch, and we're also going to rely on him to potentially try and score a goal from the centre of midfield, because the attackers just aren't doing it so far this season. Now, on the left-hand side, in replacement of Jethro Willems, because he's got an injury, I'm going to go with Matt Ritchie, who had a fantastic game against Chelsea. Again, if it wasn't for Captain Jamal Lascelles having the captain's armband, I would give it to Matt Ritchie, because he's a leader. He can talk, he can bark out instructions, he likes to get up and down the pitch, he can tackle, he's great with set pieces, he can cut in as well, he's got a little bit of pace about him. Probably not as quick as St. Maximin, but he will offer you 100% in the match, and he's going to be our go-to man to try and make something happen against Everton. And talking of making something happen, on the right-hand side, I'm actually going to go with Alan St. Maximin. Now, for me, he just put in the ball of the match against Chelsea on Saturday with that ball in for the header for Hayden to score. And he's got trickery, pace, skill, he's got the lot. He's a Champions League player playing in a Championship squad, and he showed his real quality against Chelsea on the weekend, how he was trying to beat a couple of men, and he's not scared to do that, and we're going to rely on him. We're going to have to try and use him against Everton as best we can, and try and get him into the game a bit more, because against Chelsea he was shut out at times, but that's because it's against Chelsea. Against Everton, no offence to them, I think he's going to get more chances, and plus he didn't play against Everton at St James's Park, so we'll have to wait and see what he can do against Everton at Goodison Park. But for me, you can't drop Alan St. Maximin out of the side. He's our paciest player at the club. Now, sort of pushed up, I've gone with Almiron in the middle, because you can rely on him. He's someone who works hard, he's quick, he can get up and down the pitch, and he's got pace. He's scored, a couple of goals in the Premier League this season, a couple in the FA Cup, so he's got a bit of confidence about him. He came close a couple of times, against Chelsea. He did set up Alan St. Maximin to tee it up to Joe Linton, who missed, but he has got a lot in his locker in terms of creativity and positivity, and that's what you want. And you can't drop Almiron as well because he's on decent form, despite not scoring against Chelsea on the weekend. And then up front on his own, I've gone with Joe Linton. He came close a couple of times against Chelsea, one where he hit the crossbar, but he's our only sort of striker at the club at this moment in time. We haven't got anybody else who we can rely on, who's going to really, get with the goals because everyone else is injured. So it's going to be a case of we're going to have to persist with him and try and hope that he can, get his second goal of the season in the Premier League. He did get one in the FA Cup, but albeit that was against Rochdale. So anyway, that is my starting 11 for the game. Again, Newcastle fans, let me know down below in the comments if you would change that and what your formation would be. Now we're going to move on to Everton. So they're currently sitting 11th in the Premier League. We're 12th. We've both won the same amount of games. That's 8. Everton and Newcastle have also drawn 5 games, and we've both lost 10 games out of 23. So we've basically both picked up 29 points each, and we're only separated by a goal difference of 5, which goes in Everton's favour. That's why they're 11th and we're 12th. So going into it, there's not much between the teams, and Everton so far under Carlo Ancelotti have been okay. I don't think they've been much better to what they were under Marco Silva, but they'll get there under Carlo Ancelotti. He just needs, funds to spend. Whether they're going to get anybody in this window, I don't know. But he's definitely getting the best out of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So you look at Everton, he's got, 11 goals this season so far, scoring 2 past us at St James's Park. So we know that he's a one to watch out for. He's got pace, and he's one of them who he relies heavily, on his wingers. He tries to get into the box, and he wants, service. And if you give him service, he'll score 9 times out of 10. And he's in great form as well. And Everton, Richarlison as well, he's got 10, but he didn't feature against West Ham on the weekend. He's got 10, and obviously Bernard, he's got 2. I think Sigurdsson, he's got about 2 as well. But they have got a lot of the injury doubts as well. So the 2 that I mentioned there, Richarlison and Sigurdsson, I think they could be missing against us, but we'll have to wait and see on Ancelotti's press conference in the next few hours or day, whenever he decides to do that. But they're 2 key players, I would say, there for Everton. Their last 3 results, they did, first of all, they got beat off Liverpool's kids, should I say, 1-0 in the FA Cup. That was a bit embarrassing. But then after that, they did beat Brighton at Goodison Park. And then the last result, they drew 1-1 with West Ham. So they've been okay. They've had a few mixed results there. They probably should have done better. But now, looking at the game on Tuesday night, because we've now ended the rot of defeats, well, we did anyway with a draw against Wolves. We picked up, 4 points from our last 2 games. I think we've got a real chance against Everton at Goodison Park if we put up a good performance. I know Everton will probably have a lot of the ball, as I always say in many previews, but it's how we control them, and it's how we get forward, and it's how we work the ball. And we'll have to work ever so hard to try and get something from the game. And all in all, it will be tough. Everton will be expected to win this game because they're at home, just like we are when we're at St James's Park. And I think this game is all about revenge. So for a score prediction, I'm actually going to go for a 1-1 draw. I'll happily take a point at Goodison Park. I love all 3. But if we can end the night on 30 points, that would be fantastic. 32 would be amazing. But if we get beat, well, it's back to the drawing board. But we've given ourselves that cushion really away from the relegation zone. We're 7 points clear of it. But if we can get a decent result at Everton, things are looking even better. So score prediction 1-1. Let me know down below in the comments what your formation and score prediction would be. Also, if you're new to the channel, please go along and subscribe. Just down there, hit it. I want to see you hit it. Hit the subscribe button. And I want to see you hit the like button as well. And put your comments in down below. Anyway, I'll see you all later. How are the lads?